Hi, this is Attorney Mike Gravel coming to you from Chicago as usual, and today we've got a really fun one. I am joined by the DUI guy, Larry Foreman. He has got a booming channel. Go over there and check it out. But we're doing a reaction to DUI number 9, Wrong Way, and it's good stuff. Let's do it. All right, this is a big day here at Law Talk with Mike. We've got the DUI guy, Larry Foreman. Thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this was suggested by a viewer of mine, and we had this little chat, and it was pretty cool. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea, but I don't know Larry. And then I contacted you, and you were like,
let's do this.
Why not? So it's fun. All right, today we've got a fun clip. It's a DUI. The woman is driving the wrong way, and then she gets investigated for DUI. It's a defense attorney's nightmare.
I guess we're about to find out. I've never seen this, so I have no idea what to expect, and I'm very excited to do this with you.
Oh, it's going to be tough to watch.
But former prosecutor, right? I believe you told me you're a former prosecutor.
I am a former prosecutor, and all I could think is, wow, I wish I had this sort of evidence.
So I think the audience is really going to have a good time with this video because they're going to get a chance to see both perspectives. You know, you can tell us from the prosecutor's side if you're so inclined, and I can give you the defense attorney's perspective.
Absolutely. Well, I always tell you that that you're never going to learn anything here, but to my audience at least, I'm going to give you a warning. You might actually learn something in this video.
I am so sorry. That's going to be all my fault.
And here we go.
That sounds like a real-world police video.
So where you
it is.
Tonight, man?
Sorry?
Where you coming for tonight?
Friend's house.
Your friend's house? You had any drinks?
A couple.
Couple? All right. You sit tight for me, okay?
You can already see she's a little out of it.
Is there any 10-8 DUI unit over there in the Voss? I know they're doing a detail over.
Any DUI unit can be 5150 Magnolia.
Bravo 32.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not gonna be around there. Just don't know.
Yeah, I just say 51.
Do you have your registration, ma'am?
Sorry?
You never showed me your registration. Do you have it?
He was just saying that he's calling for a DUI unit. Is that typical?
So I believe you told me that this is a state of Florida case, and this is a state of Florida stop. Some states, the bigger ones especially, I've noticed in my review of these videos, Georgia, Florida, California, like the big ones where they have the separate DUI task force, they have a special police unit that is designated. Sometimes they come in on motorcycles, sometimes they have their cruisers, and traffic patrol, if they suspect that there's a DUI, I understand that they can just radio these people in and they'll swoop in and do the field sobriety test investigation because they would do a better job that would hold up in court better than the officer stopping them. Because the officer that we're watching the body camera of, he 100% has done the 40-hour standardized field sobriety tests when he's completed the academy. But because they have the manpower, the resources, the funds, and so on to have a separate task force, they bring those suckers in and they do a full bang-up job from what I hear.
I think we'll see how this guy does, but that was interesting to me because I'd never seen that before, but it does make sense.
All right. Like I said, man, just sit tight for me here, and then I'll be right back, okay?
Are you sure it's not the officer who's drunk? Because
how are you?
He's slurring his words from what I'm hearing.
So what I'm here to do is, one of these officers stopped you for driving the wrong way on the roadway, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm here to do is I'm here to ask you, they're They're worried if you're impaired. Okay. So what I'm here to do is to ask. I kind of specialize in DUIs. Okay. So what I'm requesting is that you step out of the vehicle. Okay. We'll do some exercises and we'll go from there. Okay. Sound good? Yep. Okay. Do you have a jacket or anything you want to put on? It's
giving
a little
herself
cold.
away. Because he's telling her that I'm about to do some field exercises on you, and she's just like, okay, all right, let's go ahead and do that. You know, a non-impaired person would say, why are we doing this? What's the point? I'm completely sober. By the virtue of her acquiescing, agreeing with the officer, going, okay, let's do tests. She's already giving herself away. Never talk to the police.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I mean, that's really the moment. He doesn't ask beyond that. I've seen the clip. He doesn't really ask. Here's where she acquiesces to the field sobriety test. And, you know, we talked earlier. Do you? I mean, I know this is Florida, but do you have to take a field sobriety test?
No, you do not. As far as I know, definitely in Kentucky, and I believe in all jurisdictions. Again, you can't quote me on this, but I'm almost 100% certain that you can refuse the standardized field sobriety tests without any penalty whatsoever, other than a potential arrest.
That's
obviously,
awesome. I get that question all the time.
Right. And people, you know, people don't understand that they can do that because the officer never asks. Almost never, I should say. I've seen situations where they do, but almost never will they say, would you be so kind as to step out of the vehicle and do some field sobriety tests for me? Is that okay with you? They don't ask. They command, get out of the car, do these tests. And people don't, naturally, people are agreeable. They want to agree with the police officer.
Yeah.
And so when they're being told to do something, they think, oh, well, this is mandatory. How many times have I been on the phone with a client and I tell them, well, you've done these tests, you shouldn't have done them. And they're like, well, I had no idea I could refuse. So again, this is just the government collecting evidence on you, and it's your choice whether or not to present it.
Thank you. That clears up a lot of questions from my comments.
Will you be
Very
okay?
common question.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. All right. If you could just leave your phone inside, okay? Alrighty. We're gonna walk over here into this parking lot, okay? That way we're out of the roadway. If you want to come over here. Do you have any other shoes?
I like how we get to see both viewpoints of both
You have
cops'
no other
body
shoes.
cameras.
Nope.
Okay.
I didn't even realize that. Yeah, they're cutting back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have you stand here, put your feet together, hands down at your sides. Stay in that position until I tell you to move, okay? All right. Any head injuries?
Nope.
No head injuries, no traumatic brain injury or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Remember, just stay in this position, okay? Don't move until I tell you to move.
Can I take my shoes off?
Do you have socks on or anything?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, if you want to take your shoes off, that's fine.
Are you sure?
It's up to you. Are you?
I don't want
Are you comfortable walking in those shoes to the point where if I tell you to walk in a straight line, can you 100% say?
I would take my shoes off.
Then take your shoes off. It's up to you.
Are you sure?
Absolutely, it's your decision.
Check.
No. It's your decision.
I mean, even here we've already started to lose. She looks drunk there. She's slurring, you know, all that stuff. And we haven't even gotten to the test yet. Just all the video and evidence already collected.
I agree. It's not voting well.
If it won't affect your walking, I would rather you take your shoes off.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
I don't want any fucking tricks at all.
I'm not trying to give you any tricks. I'm asking you if those are work for you. If you think they're gonna mess with you, take them off.
Yeah,
I'm good with that. 100%.
Yeah, asked them like 3 or 4 times. Is it okay? Can I take it off?
You can use me for balance if you need to.
Okay.
Absolutely. Just use
sure?
my shoulder
Okay.
for balance.
Yes, when you need to use the officer for balance, it's a bad.
Well, no, she's taking off high heels. That's a fair point. You know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't discount it on intoxication straight away. I mean, that's it's not easy to stand on one leg in heels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
If you think it'll work better, I'm good with that. 100%.
Right.
You want to just move that out of the way? I don't want to kick your shoe.
Okay, yeah.
All right. What I need you to do is stand together, feet down, hands down to your sides. Okay. Do not move until I tell you to move. Okay. No brain injuries.
Nope.
Do you have anything wrong with your eyes?
Nope.
Do you wear glasses?
Yeah.
For what?
Sight.
No, like close, far.
Like computer.
Okay. Okay. So up close.
Yeah.
Like
That was a
readers,
silly
cheaters,
question.
cheaters,
Yes.
pretty much.
Yes.
Any contacts?
No.
Or do you have contacts in right now?
No.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check your eyes, okay? Remember to stay in this position. Hands down at your sides. Stay in that position, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to check your eyes. Keep your head still and follow the tip of my pen with your eyes and your eyes only, okay? Do you understand? Can you see the tip of my pen?
A little.
All right. This right here. You see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Follow the tip.
I don't know. I don't want to say yes because I know that
Do you see it? That's
yeah.
that's a legitimate question. Okay. So what I need you to do is I need you to follow the tip of my pen with your eyes and your eyes only, okay? You can see the tip of my finger, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Follow with your eyes and your eyes only. Do not move your head, okay? Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't lead it. Keep your
Eyes only.
yeah. No, yes, but don't lead my pen. You led my pen, okay? When it was here, you were looking over here. So don't lead it, okay? Just keep following the tip of my finger, okay?
Is it the tip of your finger or is it the tip of your pen, officer? Make up your mind.
Right here.
Also, he's moving the stimulus way too fast. That is not how I would move the stimulus if I was the police officer.
That's why I was wondering if there's anything that you could attack from these tests. I also don't see, but this is just because I'm not trained in it. I don't see any movement of the eye.
So it's very difficult to see it from this vantage point because we're so far away from from her eyes with the camera angle. But I've noticed three things already. So number one, the officer is moving the stimulus way too fast. They should be slower, fluid movements. That's how they're trained. Also, I believe at one point, this is the second thing, he switched eyes. He went to the right and then he went back to the left. He did not complete the first section of the HGN, or was it the second section? I can't remember which one he was on. He was moving the stimulus for the right eye and then he switched to the left. He's supposed to do the right twice and then do the left twice. It may have been the camera angle. I don't know. That one I could be mistaken on, but if I had the full video, I'd be able to give you a better answer. And the third thing, and I already pointed it out, he said, follow the tip of my pen, and then he switched to follow the tip of my finger. You know, so which one is it? Which one is she following? Because that could give a false positive, or it could be a completely incorrect result. If she is following something else, if he has his tip of his finger here and he's got the tip of his pen there, I would still, it may not be a difference whatsoever, but I would call into question whether or not
you get something to work with there.
Yeah. And to answer your question, her eyes, again, from this distance, it's a little difficult to see, but what you want to see, if this is the pupil, right? If this is the pupil, what you don't want to see as the police officer is smooth gliding movements. The way they describe it in the police academy is like windshield wipers on a vehicle, on a car. If they're moving like very smoothly and they just kind of glide in the eye, then that's indicative of sobriety. If you don't have this smooth gliding motion, if it's kind of jerky, and it'll be very pronounced, it's not necessarily indicative of intoxication, but it could potentially indicate that there is something in the person's system. One of the questions, if you remember, he asked at the very beginning, do you have any traumatic brain injuries? Do you suffer from any injuries? Do you have any problems with your eyes? And the questions they don't ask is, have you ingested aspirin today or copious amounts of caffeine? If you have anything wrong with your vestibular apparatus in the inner ear, there's a case out there that says there are about 64 causes of nystagmus. Alcohol and drugs being only 1 and 2 of them. So again, The HGN test under perfect conditions could potentially give you an accurate result if it's done correctly, and if there truly is no other factor such as genetics. I mean, it's scary to know some people have natural nystagmus.
Yeah.
Again, a very small portion of the population, but it could be you. And if it's you, then this test is completely meaningless.
Cool.
But despite all these hindrances, the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration calls this the most reliable test for standardized field sobriety testing. So go figure.
Don't move your head. Remember to move only your eyes. Keep your hands down at your side. Okay. Do you see this line?
Yep.
Would you say it's straight?
Yeah.
Is there anything in the line that's going to mess you up, knock you over, trip you up,
I wouldn't be so other than cold.
other than you being cold?
Yeah.
But what I'm asking is, you don't see any sticks,
No.
any branches, any pipes, any
No.
poles? Okay. You have anything wrong with your feet? No injuries to your feet? Okay. No injuries to your knees?
No.
Any injuries to your ankles?
No.
Okay. So what I want you to do
He's doing a
is
good
take
job
your left
covering
foot,
the
put it on
manual.
that line.
He's doing a good job covering the manual. He's asking her if there's anything wrong physically with her body before she does these tests.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not no expert on, but I've watched a few of these videos, and he is by the book. He definitely strikes me as like a guy who does that.
Remember, he said, I'm a DUI specialist.
Mhm.
He wasn't kidding.
Take your right foot, put it right in front of there, touching heel to toe. Heel to toe. Nope, nope. Left foot on the line.
They can never go heel to toe.
Put that left foot on the line. Ma'am, you got to listen to my instructions, okay? Put your left foot on the line.
He's not
Your
doing
left
very good right now.
No.
There we go. Take your right foot and put it in front of your left, touching heel to toe. Awesome. Keep your hands down. Ma'am, go back to that position. Keep your hands down at your sides,
She's not helping herself right now.
touching heel to toe. There we go. Keep your hands down at your sides. Do not move until I tell you to move. Go back into that position. Do you understand what I'm telling you?
Yes.
Okay. Do not move until I tell you to move, okay? Do you understand? Do not start until I tell you to begin the exercise. Do you understand?
And despite the
Do you
fact
understand,
that he
though,
is
so far?
a specialist, quote unquote, DUI task force officer, notice how he still has, just to make sure that he does everything correctly. I mean, you would think with the amount of DUIs this guy probably has done, he would need it. And maybe he doesn't. But I give him a lot of brownie points for having that card right in front of him. He's reading from it. It doesn't matter if he has the card memorized. He wants to make sure to protect the record for the prosecutor in court to try and crucify this lady as much as he can. And for that, I give the officer a lot of respect. I do not want this case.
Yeah, I have. It's funny, you know, I do a lot of sovereign citizen videos, and I actually do DUIs as a break from sovereign citizens, which is, you know, quite an indictment of sovereign citizens that you'd prefer to do that. From what I've seen, they are really consistent. Boy, this training, that's across the country, no matter what state, they are following this script, which makes sense. They're trying to standardize it.
When they do it right, you haven't seen the ones where they completely butcher it and screw it up, and that's where the fun begins.
Oh, that would be fun.
Okay. When I tell you to begin, take 9 heel-to-toe steps on the line, and turn around, keeping 1 foot on the line, and return 9 heel-to-toe steps. It's going to look like this, okay? You can watch my feet. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, and so forth until you get to 9. When you get to 9, you're going to leave that front foot on that line, and you're going to take short, choppy steps turning around. It's going to look like this. And then you're going to continue down the line, touching heel to toe, counting aloud. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth until you get to 9. Do you understand? Okay. Remember to stay in that position. Touching heel to toe right now. I didn't tell you to begin yet. Go back into that starting position, please.
Okay, now he's
Keeping your
being
hands
like a
down at your
trickster.
sides.
I don't like that.
All right. You may begin.
11.
Oh my god.
Crash and burn.
I'm sorry, when you turn around.
Just as I instructed.
Okay.
Oh, so I'm just gonna keep going until. That is a long ass line. She's just gonna keep going until he reaches
Well,
the
I told her
end.
9.
Yeah, 93.
I
Did you
would
understand
run
the
at this
instructions?
point. Like, I guess, like maybe you can
Okay.
get away from the cop.
Okay,
I don't
come
know.
back. I'll explain it to you again, okay?
No,
Keep
I'm
going.
gonna go do
Go ahead and put your left foot on the line. Put your and put your right foot right in front of that left foot. Put your right foot in front of the left foot.
Are we doing the test
There we
again?
go.
What's going on?
Touching heel to toe. Keeping your hands down at your sides, okay? When I tell you to begin, look at me. When I tell you to begin, you're going to take 9 heel to toe steps, counting out loud. Okay, 9 heel to toe steps, counting out loud. It's going to look like this.
Again?
1, 2, 3. When you get to 9, you're going to leave your front foot on the line, and you're going to turn around. It's going to
Why are
look
we
like
doing
this.
this a second time? This is unusual.
And then you're going to go back down the line,
I think he just wants
counting
more
9 heel
evidence
to toe
on this
steps. 1, 2, 3.
Because she's already performed it.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to like.
No, she exhibited a lot of
no,
clues.
Listen.
I don't know why
Like,
he's
do
making her
what
do
you
it again.
No, I understand, and that's why I want to make sure you understand the exercise. Do you understand it?
So like 9 and then 9.
9 turning around, and then 9 back. Do you understand?
Yes.
Remember to keep your hands down at your side,
I
count
swear,
aloud,
if she keeps
and
walking
touch
again,
heel
I'm
to
gonna
toe.
lose it.
So 1,
You may begin.
Past 9.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Around.
Oh,
Just as I instructed.
Oh, nailed it that time.
4, 5, 6,
she hasn't touched heel to toe once.
9.
Okay, you can relax.
Okay.
You can relax. All right. Just give me 1 second, okay? Okay. So, for this exercise, I need you to put your feet together like that, just exactly how you have them. Hands down at your sides. Okay, do not move until I tell you to move. Do you understand? Yes? Okay. Keep your hands down at your sides. Thank you. When I tell you to, I want you to raise one leg. Your choice, okay? Either leg approximately 6 inches off the ground, foot pointed out, and keep both legs straight. Don't begin until I tell you to begin, okay? Keep your eyes on the elevated foot. While holding that position, I want you to count out loud 1001, 1002, 1003, and so forth until told to stop. It's going to look like this. You can watch my feet. You pick the leg up approximately 6 inches off the ground. Don't begin until I tell you to begin. You're going to count out loud 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, and so forth until I tell you to stop. Hold on. No hopping, no swaying. Remember to keep your hands down at your side. If you put
Why
your
is he
foot
giving
down,
her the clues?
I want you to put your foot back up
I
and
think
count where you left
he
off.
thinks that he's got her so dead to rights that it
Do you
doesn't even
understand
matter
the
at this point.
instructions?
Because they're
Yes?
not supposed to give away the game. Like, the
Okay,
whole
1
point is
second.
you don't know what the clues are. So that's a clue. But if he tells her not to hop, she's going to try not to hop. So now, I don't know.
That's interesting. You think he's actually being nice and sort of trying to help her?
Absolutely. They are absolutely under no obligation to tell you the clues of the test. And he just said no swaying, no hopping, which are 2 of the 4 clues on the one leg stand. The
Yeah,
other being raising arms and dropping the foot.
When I've done these in the past, I have a lot of law enforcement in the audience, and they say, most of the test is, can you follow the instructions?
That's not correct. Following the instructions is not one of the clues. I had a cop pull that card on me one time in open court, and I made him look like an idiot. That's what you do.
You may begin.
Cool.
1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010, 1011, 1012, 1013, 1014.
Hands down at your sides, remember?
1014, 1015.
Oh, she was doing so well until he called her out.
She really was.
1019.
You can relax. Okay, so I want you to keep your feet together, hands down at your sides. When I ask you to, I'm going to have you close your eyes, tilt your head all the way back, close your eyes, and I want you to estimate 30 seconds in your head, okay? Not out loud, just estimate 30 seconds in your head. Do you understand? Okay.
Okay,
So
now
do you know
it's
how
a
long
little
30
strange.
seconds is?
I mean, yeah. But
Okay.
I don't understand what this officer is doing. He just went from the 3 standardized field sobriety test battery, which is the horizontal gaze nystagmus, walk and turn, and one leg stand. Those are standardized for alcohol, right?
Okay.
And now he's about to begin something called the modified Romberg test, the MRT. And that is exactly as he described. You tilt your head back, you hold your arms out, or sometimes not always, and then you estimate the passage of 30 seconds in your head. The purpose of that field sobriety test is to gauge your internal clock. Is it fast or is it slow? Are you on a depressant or are you on a stimulant? Now, if they suspect alcohol, they already know she's on a depressant because alcohol is a depressant, central nervous system depressant. However, the fact that he's switching gears to do an additional test either tells me that he's not 100% sure what he's looking for. Maybe he didn't smell alcohol at this point. Maybe he suspects marijuana, which would be the right call to do this field sobriety test. Or he has absolutely no idea what he's doing in that regard, and he's just going through the motions to give her an additional field sobriety test. But if he suspected alcohol, the modified Romberg is not the next go-to.
That's interesting, and I would have never picked that out in a million years, but it does make sense. Like, yeah, he's thinking maybe if you're altered on something else, this test would do it. But who knows what's in his head?
Well, so far, I haven't heard any discussion, unless I missed it, and please let me know if I did, Mike. Did any of the officers say, I smell marijuana, alcohol, or anything like that?
No. So thus far, there's more later, but thus far, she says, I had 2 drinks.
She said, so she admitted to drinks, but there's no indication that they should suspect anything other than alcohol, unless I missed it.
No, that's the only indication she's given.
Interesting. Okay.
Want me to do like in those 30 seconds?
Just estimate 30 seconds.
And just sit here?
So yeah, when I
This
tell
is
you to
my
begin, you're
favorite
going to
part.
close your eyes, tilt your head all the way back.
It doesn't go well.
When I tell you to begin. And then you're going to estimate 30 seconds, okay? When you're done estimating 30 seconds, I want you to open your eyes, look at me, and say stop, okay? I'm not going to know to stop unless you look at me and tell me to stop. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay. So put your hands down at your sides, close your eyes. Hands down at your sides.
Do I have to close my eyes?
Yes, that's part of the exercise. Tilt your head all the way back, all the way. Hands down at your sides.
Oh, no.
And begin. Tilt your head back. Head all the way back.
Now, this is what they like to call tremors.
It's coming.
256 Quebec Alpha November. OBT and Winter Rose on a black Chevy Equinox.
Oh, my goodness.
Head all the way back. Unless you want me to stop.
Bravo 30, copy vehicle failed to stop. Simply driven by a black male. Last seen, high rate of speed. It's gonna be eastbound on American.
Okay, so I know if you want to talk to Lola, I'm going to be at the back 5:30. Table RDC, I'm going to roll Black Chevy Equinox, Black Male Driver, Florida Tag 256, Quebec after November 2002 a.m.
This feels like a
Asking
mild
out of
exorcism.
It's rough. It is rough.
Relax. Did you get to 30?
Oh, more.
You got
Yeah.
Did you understand the exercise?
Yeah.
What did I tell you to
Maybe
do?
if I went
Count to
further,
30.
Estimate
he'll think
30
I'm extra sober.
No more is my favorite response to the video. This is wrong on every level. It's beautiful.
seconds, right? And then when you got to 30 seconds, what did I tell you to do?
Honestly, I wouldn't know. I just counted 30.
I gave you an instruction, correct? Didn't I ask you to open your eyes, tell me to stop?
She can't remember anything.
Right? Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. So you remember me telling you that?
A little nervous. Yeah.
Okay, I understand, but you remember my instructions, correct? Okay. So obviously you can't go anywhere, right? The police stopped you, you got red and blue lights on, you know what I mean? So I want to ask you some questions, okay?
I mean, I hate to say this, but you can see her. She sees her ship is sinking. She's pulling the sort of feminine. Maybe I can flirt my way out of this thing. I mean, you're going to see that dynamic all the time. Very subtle, but I can see her gauging that it's over here.
So I have to read you something because I want to ask you questions. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You have the right to remain silent. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Anything you say may be used against you in court. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You have a right to talk to a lawyer before and during questioning. Do you understand?
Okay, and we chatted about this briefly before too. He's finally Mirandizing her now.
Right.
Okay. So all these prior statements, can they get that in? Can a prosecutor get that in or not?
According to the United States Supreme Court, yes. And
Yep.
this is so fact specific and so narrowly tailored to each individual case. And let me give you a concrete example. Have you seen some of those videos of people? Usually they're pulled over, not pulled over, excuse me. They're usually questioned during a checkpoint or by Border Patrol. Those are the most common ones I've seen, where the first question out of their mouth is, am I being detained or am I free to go? Have you seen those videos, Mike?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So why do people ask that question? That question by itself, as a standalone question to law enforcement, is a direct trigger to Miranda, because the Supreme Court of the United States has clearly stated in multiple cases that being questioned on the side of the road by a police officer, do you realize where you're going, where you're coming from, why I pulled you over, etc., is not, or does not, excuse me, trigger Miranda. Because for Miranda to be activated, if you will, you need two things. You need custody and you need interrogation. Now, interrogation would be very difficult to argue that you don't have. But in those 99% of cases where you are being just pulled over for busted taillight, weaving, swerving, whatever, the justification for being pulled over, you do have the interrogation. But the argument is, even though it's so flimsy, I think it's extremely flimsy, but such is the law, that you are technically not in custody, because in theory, you could ask the officer, am I free to go? And the officer is going to go, well, I don't have anything on you, or yeah, let me just write you this ticket and you're be on your way. Yeah. But as soon as you ask that question, am I free to go? And the answer is no, you are not. You are at that point immediately considered to be in custody. Now you have questions, interrogation, you have custody, you cannot leave. Miranda is activated. And any questions that are being asked of you, any answers that you provide thereafter, can be excluded in a motion to suppress in a court of law. And any reasonable judge, if they're following the law, will exclude all of those answers unless a Miranda warning is immediately given by law enforcement after that question is asked.
That's interesting. So there is good basis for the sovereign citizens do it all the time too. I mean, it does create that moment where it's going to be harder for a judge to buy any of those statements unless you Mirandize immediately.
Exactly. And there's other there's other loopholes. Like I remember we had this one case where I think my buddy had a very similar case too. I can't remember if it was mine or his. Maybe we had one too. Regardless, this is a case where our client pulled into a parking spot as he was being pulled over, and the police officer, I'm going to try and show this on camera if I can. So they parked in a parking spot, and then the police cruiser parked behind them diagonally, blocking their way. They weren't like completely behind them like you would,
Right.
On a roadway. They were kind of diagonally, but they were blocking the client's way, so they couldn't pull out. If they had pulled out, they would have hit the police cruiser.
I get
And
it.
there was a very strong argument there, and I can't remember. I don't think it was our case. I would have remembered the result. It must have been my buddy's case because I remember the facts, but I don't remember the result.
But yeah, the argument is, does that create custody?
Exactly. Are you free to leave at that point? And even if you haven't been told, you haven't asked, the circumstances may be indicative of the fact that you are not free to leave.
Yeah.
So that's
interesting.
And a lot of times this is like side of the road. Now imagine the flip side, you being called into a police station to be questioned. If you do not ask this question, officers, am I being detained or am I free to go? They don't have to Mirandize you until, because they can always fall back on, listen, buddy, the door was open. Oh, you could have just gotten up and left.
They're voluntary statements.
And you have no leg to stand on. Exactly. It's fascinating, Mike.
Yeah.
If you cannot afford a lawyer and want one will be provided for you before questioning without charge. Do you understand?
Yep.
Has anyone threatened you or promised you anything to get you to talk to me?
No.
Okay. So, can you tell me what happened tonight? Why we're here?
I mean, honestly.
This right here, you can see he goes from all that. They've got all this. They've got body cam footage, and then this, and I'm not even a criminal defense attorney. I'm like, please stop talking for her. Nothing from here forward. She's now been Mirandized. It's on camera, and she keeps going. And it's not the worst, but it's not good.
I really don't know why. Was I swerving?
Well, I explained to you when I came and talked to you that you were stopped because you were driving the wrong way down one-way road, correct?
This road?
Which is an issue.
No, Orange Avenue, right? Okay. So you were driving the wrong way down a one-way road. So that's why you were pulled over, okay? The reason I'm here, like I explained to you when I first made contact with you, is I specialize in DUIs and driving under the influence, and that's why I'm talking to you. So my question is, how much have you had to drink tonight?
Not too much.
What's not too much?
Like 2 or 3 drinks.
2 or 3 drinks? What kind of drinks were they?
Vodka.
Vodka and what?
Red Bull.
Vodka and Red Bull. Okay. So with the vodka and Red Bull, are we talking doubles, singles?
Singles.
Singles? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And when was the last time you had your drink?
An hour ago. 2
Okay.
hours ago.
What time do you think it is?
What time is it right now?
Well, you tell me. That's all.
That right there is one of the most important questions that they should ask, but they never ask the follow-up question. We'll see if this guy does or not. What time did you start drinking? What time did you stop drinking? To pinpoint that window, because in Kentucky, and I'm calling this out because I don't care how many police officers are watching this. I want you guys to know this because oftentimes, I'm talking to the police officers right now directly. Oftentimes you arrest individuals who do not belong with a DUI charge just because you never ask the follow-up question. Because sometimes an individual may have consumed 4 or 5 drinks, but it was over an 8-9 hour period, and they should not be arrested for a DUI. Now, obviously, this is a different example. She has exhibited multiple clues. I think to a layperson, she appears to be under the influence of something. There is something, again, you don't have to be a criminal defense attorney to see there is something wrong with this woman. Now, whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol, lack of sleep, it could be a multitude of issues, potential issues. But when you ask them how many drinks have you had and just leave it at that, or when was the time when did you have your last drink? About an hour ago, you still don't have the full picture.
No. Yeah, she's admitting to 3 drinks, but yeah, you don't have the time frame on it.
When did they start? When did they stop? Yeah.
I have with all this because like I said, I was a prosecutor briefly. And one of the things I always think is, hey, we've got the burden of proof, and I want to be able to prove my case 4 different ways, because maybe I lose a witness. Maybe the lab has got a problem. Maybe not. And if that's all perfect, then you don't have a problem. But I'm thinking, what are my alternate paths to a conviction as a prosecutor? But in here, and when I did it, though, we didn't have body cams. What's the foundation to get this body cam footage in? I mean, do they just call the officer and say, you're wearing your body cam? That's it?
Yeah. Did you wear your body cam that night, Officer Smith? Yes, I did. Have you had a chance to review the body cam footage before coming to court here today? Yes, I have. Do you believe it accurately reflects all the events of that night? Yes, I do. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to introduce the video evidence to and play it in open court to the jury. Any objection? Again, unless I have unless I believe the video has been altered in some way, or if it's a video of a different time, a different place, a different cop, a different client, I am going to have a very, very difficult time getting that video excluded. And that's why we like to say sometimes the video is literally going to make or break the whole case, because you may have a high BAC, but if the video shows that you are not under the influence, or you don't appear to be under the influence, that's good for you. Or your BAC result may be very, very low, or you may not even have one at all. But if you appear to be under the influence with video, and I've had these cases where the prosecutor thinks, with a refusal, they always use this argument of consciousness of guilt. Have you ever heard of this argument, Mike?
Sure.
Yeah, it's the refusal argument. The person refused. Why did they refuse? Because they're guilty, because they knew that the blood test would show, or the breath test would show above 0.08. So they chose not to blow, or they chose not to give blood because they knew that it would incriminate them. And therefore they refused. And they tried these cases. And a lot of times, more often than not, I can get a not guilty verdict, because the jury, and especially if I have video. Without video, it's also tricky. It's also doable. Again, depending on the facts. But if I have video that shows that my client was, at least appears sober, and there is a refusal, usually that's more than enough for an acquittal.
Interesting.
12? Okay. It's 2:45. Okay. So you had your last drink at 12, you would think? Okay. And when was the last time you ate?
8?
Yeah, ate food.
Oh, I had dinner. So
What time? 8 o'clock? What did you have?
Scallops and mashed potatoes.
Okay, scallops and mashed potatoes. Pretty good meal. Nice. Okay. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being sober as a judge,
so much.
and 2 being drunk, where would you be?
Wait, did he say 1 to 2?
4.
A 4? You would say you're on
1 to 10.
Oh, it's 1 to 10. I thought I heard 2.
Yeah, 1 to 10, and she says 4. Again, I'm looking as a prosecutor, going, bang! I got a conviction without any witnesses if I need it.
Stop talking to the police.
Exactly.
You're on a 4 out of the 1 to 10 scale. Okay.
So I'm a little
Where was
drunk,
that?
officer.
Where was that? 85? Sarah? Oh, the gas station. Okay. All right. So at this point, I am placing you under arrest for DUI. Okay. Don't freak out. Hold on, come out of here. Cool. Out of here. Just relax. Just relax. Relax your hands, okay? Ma'am. Do you have anything on your person?
No.
Okay. I need you to at least be cordial with me because I've treated you with respect. Correct?
I've treated you
Okay.
cordially as well.
So,
What do you mean?
I know. I'm just telling you. You're giving me a little bit of attitude, and I'm asking you this to benefit you. If you have any drugs on your person and you enter the jail, it will be a felony charge. Right now,
I
you're
have
at a
nothing
misdemeanor.
on me.
Okay.
I mean, that answer is just hard to hear, too. I don't have any drugs on me. And she says it like, oh, I've got them, just not on me. It's so incriminating.
That's a good catch. I didn't think about that.
Have a seat.
Alexander, you got a contact number?
Like my mom, or what do you mean?
As far as I'm writing you a citation for
904.
all right. Okay, so I'll write you a citation for driving the wrong way on a one-way street. You were going north. You was going northbound on Orange Avenue at that intersection right there. Orange Avenue only goes southbound. That's why I pulled in front of your car and you kept moving forward till we got here. So that's what I'm citing you for. It's a $164 violation, and you got within 30 days to pay the fine or to take me to court or to go to traffic school. Okay. Your ticket will be left with him.
Now he's just adding insult to it. The lady has already been arrested for DUI, and he has to
ticket you're getting,
add the
it'll be in
other
your
charge to
pocket,
the
okay?
freaking
That's all
DUI.
he's saying.
Call it a day, officer. Leave her alone.
You're going to jail for DUI, but this is a ticket for the driving the wrong way. Okay?
It's so scary.
That's too much, man. Psychological torture is what it is.
Alexander. So I picked.
That's basically it. But I do like a little bit more of this clip because for no reason whatsoever that's relevant to this, Florida man shows up and crashes the party.
Up your bag.
You'll see.
And I left all your money in it, okay? I didn't touch any of your money. I'm just letting you know. And your phone is in there as well, okay? I put your phone, and this is your debit card?
It's not my debit card, but...
Oh, okay. Well, it was in there. Your phone's in there. I turned your phone off. That way you could get phone numbers, okay? And save battery.
Sure.
Okay. Just hang tight.
I was sitting on the sidewalk, next to that tattoo. He almost hit me in my
This
back.
guy.
I said, holy shit, get out of here. He's a recording guy. He always told me.
I got you. All right, we'll go there after we get finished here, okay?
We're trying to arrest somebody here.
Finish here.
I need you, officers. I need you over
All
here
right,
right
buddy.
now. I got something more
if you can do me a
pressing
favor,
to do
just
right
walk on the
now.
sidewalk for me, okay?
Well, I gotta get, okay, yeah.
Either walk on the sidewalk or use the crosswalk, cross back.
No, well, I gotta go way down and cross over.
Okay, go ahead. You're good.
Okay.
Oh, not for
Only in Florida. In Kentucky, you can be shot by that.
Oh, okay.
I need a microwave. I got a pizza.
All right.
Heat up.
All right, well, go like I said.
I know, Edwin, you know, that's about it. Yeah, he's gonna kill somebody. He's drunk.
I got you.
You know what? He's gonna catch me. So I can pull in the circle and drive. But I got the right tag in Florida. You'll know where he lives.
I got
Now,
you.
wide witness. You got two. I got one. I'm the side. You know what I mean?
I got
He
you.
hurt and kill somebody.
I got you.
What if he's not gonna drive?
Drunk, mid-block,
Only in
the whole
Florida.
These things are crazy. They should have buses flat.
This one's about to get run over, I swear to God.
He really is. All right, that was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for coming by. I really did have a good time. And I was just wondering if you have any parting thoughts for my audience about this video.
I will say, Mike, that video was definitely one of the worst that I have seen in a long time. That lady was definitely on something. I don't know what it is. I don't know if she refused at the station. I don't know if she blew or if she gave blood. I would love to know. So if we could do, a little bit of research on that, that would be awesome. If not, the bygones be bygones. But remember, guys, shut up, don't blow, don't talk to the police. Choose to refuse or you will lose. All right?
All right, thank
Thanks
you.
for having me, Mike.
Thank you. Here at Law Talk, we like to have fun with silly stuff that happens in court, and every once in a while, and completely by accident, I assure you, you might learn something. Thanks for watching.